Xin chào tất cả các quý vị phụ huynh và các bạn học sinh đang tham dự buổi webinar với sự tham dự của hai đại diện của hai trường nội trú hàng đầu của nước Mỹ. Đó là đại diện của trường Westminster School và trường Hampton School. Thì một số phụ huynh cũng như là các bạn học sinh ở đây thì cũng đã từng tham dự buổi webinar của AMVNX giới thiệu về các trường nội trú hàng đầu của nước Mỹ. Tuy nhiên thì ngày hôm nay thì chúng ta cũng có một số các phụ huynh cũng như là các bạn học sinh mới. Thì trước hết thì tôi xin giới thiệu một chút về AMVNX. AMVNX thì đó là tổ chức giáo dục Mỹ với hơn 12 năm hoạt động tại Việt Nam. Trong hơn 12 năm qua thì tổ chức giáo dục Mỹ AMVNX đã hỗ trợ hàng nghìn các bạn học sinh nộp hồ sơ thành công vào các trường nội trú hàng đầu của nước Mỹ cũng như là các trường đại học danh tiếng của nước Mỹ. Ngày hôm nay thì buổi hội thảo của chúng ta thì sẽ chia ra làm các phần sau. Phần đầu tiên đó chính là phần thuyết trình của đại diện trường Westminster School, đó là thầy Randy, và tiếp theo đó là phần thuyết trình của thầy Walt từ trường New Hampton. Sau đó thì chúng ta sẽ có phần Q&A, có nghĩa là phần hỏi đáp. Nếu như các quý vị phụ huynh cũng như là các bạn học sinh có bất cứ thắc mắc hay có bất cứ câu hỏi gì, quý vị phụ huynh có thể đặt ra các câu hỏi trực tiếp cho thầy Randy và thầy Will. Các thầy sẽ trả lời tất cả các câu hỏi mà quý vị phụ huynh cũng như là các bạn học sinh có. Sau phần Q&A, đó là phần hỏi đáp, thì chúng ta sẽ chuyển sang phần phỏng vấn. Các bạn học sinh thì đã đăng ký phỏng vấn trực tiếp với đại diện trường Westminster và trường New Hampton, thì các bạn sẽ tham dự phỏng vấn với đại diện của các trường theo khung giờ đã được đưa ra. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ bắt đầu chương trình webinar ngay tại thời điểm này. Good morning, Will and Randy. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. And our students and parents are joining the webinar right now, and they are looking forward to hear the presentation about each school. Randy, you can go ahead and share the presentation with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. All right, perfect. Thank you guys so much for having me. My name's Tim Randall. I work here at Westminster School. This is my 4th year at Westminster School, and I've always enjoyed working in boarding schools, and I've enjoyed Westminster School tremendously. This is my 14th year in boarding schools overall. I'm disappointed this year to not be able to travel and to meet with you all in person. I tend to handle most of the international applications here at Westminster, and then I get to do a lot of the international travel as well. So usually this time of year, I've just wrapped up a nice long trip and would have met you guys. But Westminster School is located just between New York City and Boston. So we're about 2 hours from each city. We are just over 400 students. There were 411 students this year, with 75% of those students are boarding students and 25% of those students as day students. We are about 85% of our students come from inside the United States, with 15% coming from outside the US. We have about 25 states and just about 30 countries represented each year as well. So we have a great mix of students on campus from inside the states and from around the world. We are usually just about 50-50 boys and girls. So almost exactly 50% boys, almost exactly 50% girls. We offer 14 different sports with over 50 different teams. So that means that we have within a sport, we may have 2 or 3 different teams that students are able to play: a varsity team, a JV team, and a thirds team from there. On average, we have about a 5-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio with about 12 students per class. So not every teacher is teaching every block. That's why that student-to-teacher ratio is a little bit lower than the typical class size. Some of our facilities here on campus, which you'll see in just a second here in some photos, over 200 acres of green space here. It's a beautiful area to just walk around, to sit down and relax, to kind of take in some views of the Farmington Valley. We have 7 standalone dorms, state-of-the-art dining hall that was finished in 2017, academic center where all of our academic classes are in one building, a theater, art studios, community centers, all those sorts of things in terms of kind of community buildings, and then our athletic facilities. the usual things: baseball diamonds, softball diamonds, multi-use fields, tennis courts, but we also have a swimming pool and an ice rink on campus as well. So this is our campus here. As you can see, we've got a lot of green space around us. This area right in the middle is the quad. This is where all the dormitories empty out. This fall was a tremendous fall for us as a school. I think it was great to see all the kids just getting outside. I think with everything going on, we were far more comfortable with students interacting with each other outside. So we had probably the best weather of any fall that I can remember in recent history. But we had all sorts of games outside. We had spike ball, volleyball, badminton, all sorts of things outside. We had an outdoor movie screen that the kids could watch movies on Saturday nights and things like that. So lots and lots of fun activities for the kids to kind of spend some time with each other and have some fun with each other from there. These are some of our athletic facilities. We do have a turf field on campus. You can see the tennis courts kind of over on the right-hand side here. The hockey rink is directly below here, but lots of space for students to be able to play sports and to be able to kind of compete against some other schools as well. One of the unique things about Westminster is that we're located a little bit more of a suburban town than sometimes some other schools are. I've worked at some schools where you have to get in a car to go anywhere and do anything. And, we love as a school that you guys are able to walk to some places, and that makes our permissions, it makes signing out much easier for you guys as students as well. So within a mile of our school, we have places to get coffee, food, a CVS, so drugstore if you need to get something from there. There's a supermarket. There's all sorts of different things that you guys are able to walk to and then turn around and walk back to campus in a pretty quick walk from there. I would have to say that Starbucks is probably the most popular one. Lots of students going to get a coffee on a Saturday or Sunday just to kind of relax and get off campus for a couple minutes. In the Academic Center, we offer a wide range of courses in every single department. So, we offer some kind of base freshman and sophomore courses, and then as a junior and senior, you really have the opportunity to expand and take some different electives and some really unique classes from there. We offer in a typical year 22 different AP courses across every single department. So we have foreign language APs, English, math, science, and history. Our typical our class schedule has 7 blocks in it. Students do not take 7 classes. We want you guys to have at least 1 free block, so you guys can have some downtime, meet with teachers, do the things that high school students should be doing from there. Most kids take the 5 core classes. So again, that's English, history, math, science, and the foreign language, and then an elective. That elective could be an arts elective, it could be an academic elective, but that's up to you. As I mentioned before, our average class size is about 12 students. Sometimes we might see 15 or 16 kids in the classroom. Sometimes we might see 8 or 9. So it depends upon student interest. I would probably say that as we get older, those class numbers drop just a little bit because there are many more options for kids to spread themselves out over. In terms of students taking the next step, moving from Westminster on to a college or university of their choice, our college counseling office does a fantastic job. They have 4 full-time college counselors to work with you and your family on getting recommendations from teachers, helping with essays, helping narrow down that search to the school that's going to fit you extraordinarily well. This is our academic center here. So on the right side of the building here are the math and science classrooms. This glass part here is what we call the atrium. This is a spot where kids will gather together between classes, or we might gather in here for an all-school assembly to share some announcements and things like that. The next kind of section here is the library. The library is a beautiful space. It's a 2-story library. So students are able to go in there during the class day to study. They're able to go in there in the evening and study as well. So the library is open from 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. So students can get in there anytime that they'd like from there. Beyond the library are on the first floor are the foreign language classrooms. So that's Spanish, French, Latin, and Mandarin Chinese. Second floor are the English classrooms, and then the third floor are the history classrooms. So all of our academic classrooms are in one building here. Also in the academic center on the bottom floor, on the basement or the subterranean floor, we have a large lecture hall that we use for a supervised study hall for first year students. So that's we think that's a great way for you guys to kind of learn some study habits and some study patterns. You'll also use that space as a senior for English. We create a lecture style English class for seniors to simulate what you're going to experience in college with some bigger lectures. So one English teacher will lecture to the whole senior class. We think that's a pretty cool experience for you guys to have. And then our bookstore is also downstairs as well. So that's a place where you can run and grab a quick snack or something between classes, or if you want to go in and shop and look for a sweatshirt or t-shirt or things like that, you can certainly find those there too. Most of our classes are set up in this fashion. We want to encourage discussion. We want students to interact with one another. So most teachers choose to set up their rooms either in this kind of square or circle fashion so that they can discuss. This is Mrs. Gritzmacher. She's a history teacher. You can see that students have a variety of learning styles that suit them best. Some students take notes on their computers and can pay attention and do both things. Other students prefer kind of the pencil and paper. Both are fine. If the computer is going to be a distraction for you, we can help manage that and maybe offer you a pencil and a piece of paper instead. But most kids kind of work back and forth between the two. This is also a great picture to demonstrate our dress code. So boys are in jackets and ties. That's, we feel like to get dressed up and feel like you're ready to start your day, helps those guys kind of get going. Girls are in sort of the professional equivalent. They have a little bit more choices, a little bit more ambiguity in their dress code. But the basics are that we want to have girls have either pants or skirts on, and then 2 layers on up top. So it might be a sweater and another top, or like a jacket and another top from there. But so that's what the goal is for the female dress code there. This is one of my favorite spaces in the academic center. This is our planetarium area. So we have an astronomy course, which I think is just amazing and so cool. You can see some great stars. We also have an observatory on campus that the astronomy class will use from time to time. But we have some really cool spaces in this academic center. These chairs are super comfortable. It gets nice and dark in here. If I was in here every day, I would worry about falling asleep sometimes. But the material is always so interesting that it's always so easy to pay attention and learn from these guys. But I just think this is such a neat space for our kids from there. This is the inside of the library. So this is one of the study rooms or one of the reading rooms. This is a space where kids will typically use during the class day or in the evening to sit down and study. And you can see some kids are choosing to study together or work on stuff together. Other kids are kind of more individual here as well. So there's spaces like this kind of throughout the library that give kids chances to sit down and get some things done either in the middle of the school day or as they get ready to work in the evening. So a typical day at Westminster, we want to keep you guys busy. We want to keep you guys active. We want to keep you on the move. But we also want you guys to have a little bit of downtime as well to enjoy the company of your friends and have a little fun too. So most kids wake up somewhere between 7 and 7:30, get kind of prepared for the day, shower, get dressed, all those sorts of things. Most kids will head over to breakfast around 7:45 or 8 o'clock. Our first class of the day starts at 8:20. We have 4 classes in the morning, a break for lunch, and then 2 classes in the afternoon. So we try to break up the day a little bit that way. We also have some times for advisor meetings, for class meetings built into some of our class days as well. In the afternoon, we do our afternoon program. So that's things like sports, dance, theater, or community service. So that runs anywhere from 3:30 until about 5:30 p.m. Some programs may go a little bit longer. Some programs may go a little bit shorter, but that's the general window there. Our dinner is open from 5:30 until 7, so you guys can go in at any point during that window and get some dinner. You can sit with whoever you'd like, whenever you'd like, in that dining hall for dinner. We have a campus-wide study hall from 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. So everyone on campus is getting their homework done, getting ready for the next day. At 10 p.m., everyone is back into their own dormitory. So that's a chance for us to check everybody in, make sure that everyone's good, everyone's healthy, everyone's safe at 10 p.m. And then we let you guys hang out for a little while, and then we'll kind of get you guys back to your own rooms at 11 o'clock so you can get some sleep and get ready for the next day. Every student has an advisor. I talked a little bit about the advisor meetings that we have scheduled throughout the week in the slide before, but we have 2 group advisor meetings. So typically we meet either like Mondays or Wednesdays, and then Saturdays as well as a group. So we'll talk about things that are happening on campus, things that are upcoming on campus, things that, you know, if it's coming up on finals time or departure time, that we may talk about sleep habits or study habits or things like that. So everything's sort of topical around what's going on here on campus. We also meet individually with students as well. So that the advising program is kind of the backbone of our students' experience here at Westminster. The advisors are also the parents' kind of eyes and ears on campus. So we may not know the exact grade down to the decimal point that your student has in science, but we've got a really good handle on how everything's going, generally speaking here. That, you know, if they had one homework where they got a 3 out of 5 instead of a 5 out of 5, you know, that's not too big an issue. But if we see a whole trend where the student's taking a little bit of a dive, or if they're doing really excellent things, we'll certainly stay in touch and keep you guys up to date from there. In addition to the academic advisor, we do things a little bit differently in the dorms. So we'll have 4 dorm parents living in the dorm. Each dorm parent has kind of their own hallway that they're kind of a secondary advisor to. So we do some snacks throughout the week. We check on the room cleanliness of those rooms, and we get those guys together as a group and kind of almost like a secondary advisor. So just making sure everything's going well in the residential life program for those guys. So that, and then also coaches, teachers, program directors, everyone else is keeping eyes and ears on kids here on campus. This is a typical dorm. So our dorms are in general relatively new. 5 out of the 7 have been built in the last 10 years. One has been renovated really recently as well. So the spaces for both boys and girls are incredible. Every dorm has a common space where kids can sit down, relax, watch a game, you know, get some homework done over in the corner if they want to do that here. But the common spaces are popular in the evenings for sure. When kids want to catch the last, you know, half of an NBA game or something like that, that's certainly the place to do that. This is a typical dorm space at Westminster. This is a girls' room. You can tell by how organized the decorations are and how perfectly it's all set up here. So kids have freedom to decorate their rooms however they'd like. Some students may bring like a throw rug or things like that. Some students may bring like a futon or a couch or something as well. Kids can bunk beds. They have a lot of different choices, but every room has 2 desks, 2 beds, 2 dressers, and 2 places to hang clothes as well. So students have everything that they need to be provided here by the school, and then it's their choice on how to set everything up. The vast majority of our rooms are doubles, so every student's going to have a roommate. There are a couple singles throughout campus, but the vast majority of the rooms are doubles. This is our student center here. So this is another space where students will congregate, will get together. The grill here in the back is open whenever the dining hall is not. So if students want to get a coffee or a breakfast sandwich or something like that in the middle of the morning, they can pop in here and grab that. But what you can't see in here, there's an air hockey table and also a pool table. So those have been popular spots for kids to just sit down, relax, and hang out. We do have a chapel program here at Westminster. We are non-denominational as a school, but we gather twice a week to learn about each other, to talk about things and experiences that we've had. So we have a chapel speaker each week, and then that person is usually sharing something that they've learned, some experience that they've had, something that's really important to them. So the most recent one I can think of, a girl got up and prepared a speech about how important dance was to her and some of the opportunities that had afforded her. So other kids have gone, really profound and shared things that maybe people have never known or never heard about them. Other kids, a little bit lighter, a little bit funnier and things. So it's a great program for us as a school. This is our dining hall. This is my favorite building on campus. The food here is fantastic. The dining staff does a great job with any dietary restrictions people may have, but there are always some fantastic choices for food. This is what we call our family style lunch. So we do this 4 times per week. Students are randomly assigned a table on Mondays. They'll be at that table Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for lunch. So they're with 6 other students and a faculty member. And so our job as faculty members is to facilitate discussion, make sure everybody introduces themselves, get to know each other, and then every Monday we switch new tables. So it's a great way for kids and faculty members to get to know everyone at the school in a pretty short time. Part of the jobs we have, kids will bring almost like waiters, bringing the food out to their table and then helping clean up at the end from there. Every other meal except for these 4 meals is buffet style. So you guys can go in anytime that the meal is open and sit wherever and with whomever you'd like. As I talked about earlier, the afternoon program has a variety of choices. In the fall, we offer water polo, soccer, field hockey, and cross country as fall sports. And then year-round offerings are things like community service, dramat, or theater and dance. But you can see just some of the different options that we offer by season. So students always have an opportunity to either try something new or continue to perfect a sport that they already have some great experience in doing. This is one of my favorite traditions that we do on campus before we leave for any major break. We do sort of a performing arts showcase. So the kids in the dance groups get up and dance. The kids in the choir groups or a cappella groups get up and sing. Rock band, all those sorts of things get up and perform in front of their friends. And I think for us, it's a fantastic way to celebrate what these guys have been working on all year. I think it's very easy to celebrate athletics because those guys play every Wednesday and every Saturday. So it's easy to go down and watch them and see those talents on display. It's harder to see that when kids are working on an artistic performance. So these guys were so awesome. They did some break dancing and kind of a dance battle for this performance. But it's just amazing to see all the different musical groups, all the different performance groups that we have get up and share their talents before we take off on break. Our athletic facilities are fantastic. We have put a lot of time and effort and funds into making sure that students have everything that they need to be successful. This is one of the locker rooms in our rink. These locker rooms are used for hockey in the winter, but in the fall they're used for soccer, and in the springtime they're used for lacrosse, just because that's where they're closest to in terms of fields from there. And then lastly, I think, our students are very excitable. For our guys and girls, it's so much fun to get out and support their friends. This is a basketball game on a Friday night, so we tend to try to schedule some things in the evenings or on off days so that kids can go support their friends. And a lot of times there'll be a theme. This one was a blackout, so everyone was supposed to wear some dark clothing to kind of have a group there. But these guys, they get excited to support their friends, and whether they're watching a varsity game, a JV game, a thirds game, they're cheering for our teams and excited when we were able to do well from there. So thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I definitely look forward to talking with you guys a little bit more in just a little bit. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. But it was a lot of fun speaking with you guys. I look forward to learning more about each one of you.
Thank you so much for the presentation, team. So yes, so I will brief all of the presentation in a couple minutes for our students and parents, so they understand more in Vietnamese. So for our parents, they do not understand English. Thầy Randy thì vừa mới có chia sẻ về trường Westminster. Thì trường Westminster School là một trường mà nội trú với 75% học sinh là ở nội trú. Như vậy là con số rất là lớn, với cơ sở vật chất cũng như rằng là chương trình đào tạo vô cùng là xuất sắc tại trường Westminster. Trường Westminster thì đồng thời rằng là các bạn cũng nhìn thấy campus là vô cùng là đẹp, lãng mạn. Hai trường, cả trường New Hampton và trường Westminster thì hai trường đều có campus rất là đẹp ngày hôm nay. Và trường Westminster thì nằm tọa lạc tại tiểu bang Connecticut, nhưng chỉ có khoảng tầm ở giữa Boston và New York, chỉ khoảng tầm 2 tiếng đồng hồ và khoảng tầm 2 tiếng rưỡi đồng hồ là các bạn có thể đến được Boston và có thể đến được New York. Vì thế khi mà các bạn bay đến trường Westminster để theo học thì các bạn có thể bay đến New York hoặc các bạn có thể bay đến Boston, và từ đó thì nhà trường sẽ có các phương pháp, có phương tiện giao thông để mà đưa đón các bạn tại sân bay. Thông thường thì thậm chí rất là nhiều trường tại Boston hay thậm chí nhiều trường tại New York thì cái khoảng cách từ trường cho đến sân bay cũng khoảng tầm 4-5 tiếng đồng hồ, nhưng trường Westminster có cái vị trí khá là thuận lợi. Đồng thời rằng là các bạn nhìn thấy rằng là trường Westminster ngoài các cái chương trình đào tạo các cái môn học nâng cao, những cái môn học nâng cao lên tới là 25 các cái môn AP và rất là nhiều các cái chương trình đào tạo khác để mà hỗ trợ học sinh trong cái vấn đề là chuẩn bị cho hồ sơ vào đại học, thì trường Westminster có rất là nhiều các cái hoạt động ngoại khóa, có rất là nhiều các cái hoạt động thể dục thể thao. Các bạn đã được nhìn thấy là thầy chia sẻ qua màn hình. Thì đó, các bạn khi mà theo học tại trường Westminster thì các bạn hoàn toàn là có sự cân đối giữa học tập và các hoạt động xã hội. Đồng thời rằng là tại trường Westminster thì các bạn nhìn thấy cơ sở vật chất, nhìn thấy dorm, nhìn thấy rằng là dining hall cũng như rằng là các cái phòng nghiên cứu của nhà trường vô cùng là tuyệt vời, và cũng là các bạn nhìn thấy cái môi trường học, học sinh các bạn rất là gọi là tích cực. Cũng như rằng là ở trường có cái sự phân bố đa dạng về học sinh đến từ các cái quốc gia cũng như là đến từ các cái tiểu bang khác nhau trên toàn nước Mỹ, và số lượng học sinh quốc tế chiếm một phần nhỏ, khoảng tầm là 15% tổng số học sinh của nhà trường. Vì thế khi mà các bạn đi theo học tại trường Westminster thì các bạn sẽ có rất là nhiều các cái cơ hội. Thứ nhất là để học hỏi văn hóa từ các cái bạn học sinh đến từ các quốc gia khác nhau, học hỏi văn hóa từ các bạn học sinh đến từ các cái tiểu bang khác nhau trên toàn nước Mỹ, và các bạn có tham dự có rất là nhiều các hoạt động về văn hóa dành cho các bạn học sinh quốc tế, và các bạn có rất là nhiều cái sự hỗ trợ của các thầy cô giáo trong cái quá trình mà theo học. Và cái sĩ số lớp học của trường Westminster chỉ có là một năm học sinh thì sẽ trung bình là 5 học sinh thì sẽ được chăm sóc bởi một thầy cô giáo, và chỉ số lớp học cũng rất là ở mức độ rất là nhỏ để các bạn có thể có sự tương tác tốt với thầy cô giáo. Và khi các bạn có bất cứ cái thắc mắc hay câu hỏi gì thì thầy cô giáo giảng dạy các bạn sẽ có thể trả lời các bạn tất cả những câu hỏi mà các bạn có. Thì đấy là một chút mà cô cũng như là tôi muốn chia sẻ một chút là về thông tin cơ bản của trường Westminster. Và nếu như các quý vị phụ huynh và các bạn có bất cứ câu hỏi nào thì quý vị phụ huynh và các bạn có thể đặt câu hỏi trong phần Q&A section cho thầy Randy. So thank you so much again, Randy. So right now, as will be our presentation about New Hampton School will be done by Will. So can you start the presentation?
Yeah, thank you very much. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Hello.
yes.
Second here. All right, folks, my name is Will McCulloch. I'm the Director of Enrollment Management here at New Hampton School. I'm in my 12th year here at New Hampton, and this is an interesting year for me because I'm also a parent of a student. My son is in 9th grade here. Then I have another daughter who is in 7th grade. We started 9th grade, so she's not here yet. and live here on campus. And we're really lucky to be in a wonderful part of the world where you can take advantage of all the 4 seasons here in New Hampton. Our location, we're 90 miles north of Boston. So when you think about access to all these different schools, travel and being able to get to major airports is a big concern. And we're able to fly into Boston and 90 miles up. So an hour and a half drive. I did it yesterday. We're in the lakes region. So we're surrounded by beautiful lakes. This is a destination for families with second homes and a lot of summer camps around here. And then we're only 25 minutes from mountains where you can ski and snowboard and try some of those sports, and hiking during the fall. In terms of some of our athletic offerings, you can try things like mountain biking and rock climbing. And we have an outing club. And again, I talked a little bit about snowboarding and skiing. So a lot of numbers here on this page, but I want to point out a couple of really important ones. This is a big year for New Hampton. We're celebrating our 200th anniversary. So we believe in our great traditions that we have here, but this is also a school that constantly thinks about how we can improve. And so our students can come to a teacher, or they can come to an administrator and say, hey, I want to start a new club. We have a student who started a badminton club here, one of our students from Vietnam. We had another student, in light of all the challenges facing the United States in terms of social justice over the summer, wanted to teach a class with a faculty member on addressing discrimination. So this is a place that's entrepreneurial in spirit and constantly thinking about how we can make the student experience a better one. 90% of our faculty live on campus. So this is an important statistic for you, because that means access. And when you have a school of 340 students, 260 boarding in a cozy village here in central New Hampshire, we want to make this feel like a home and a family. So you're constantly bumping into your advisor, your teacher, but also they're living on campus. So in the evening, if you need extra support on an English essay or in a math class, you have access to them. Might be when they're after dinner, when they're in the dining hall, or during study hall that we have each night. New Hampton has students from over 30 countries and 27 states. So when you think about walking into a history class here, multiple perspectives, and we have 5 students from Vietnam. And I think one of the things that I'm really proud of is the way that our students, specifically our international students, come in here and are embraced and encouraged to develop their leadership skills. And we want them as international students to bring their culture to New Hampton and make this their school. When you leave today, I want you to have a better understanding of the culture and the philosophy of our school. And I think the really cool thing about today's webinar is that Westminster and New Hampton share a lot of values. And I think all these schools are wonderful destinations. You're just trying to find the right fit, right? And so at New Hampton, our philosophy is really grounded in balance, and walking into a class and making sure that you're inspired by your classmates. If you want a school where you're going to be doing 4 or 5 hours of homework each night, this might not be the place. We're really focused on quality work, making sure that our students are working alongside each other and collaborating, as opposed to competing with each other, to be the number one in the class or to get into this college or that college. So we want you to have time to really become lifelong learners, pursue your passions, but also have time to, embrace athletics activities. And at a time where it's really difficult to be a teenager, even before the pandemic, we're really focused on mental health and the well-being of our students. So making sure that when you're thousands and thousands of miles away from, familiar faces, your parents, we have trusted adults around you that are going to support you. So looking at wonder and well-being, another way of thinking about that is challenging you, but also supporting you. Before I talk about a few of our signature academic programs, I wanted to give you an idea of just, what our schedule looks like. Tim talked about his school schedule. Many of the daily life in a boarding school is similar. No matter where you go to school, there's just going to be different ways of breaking up that day. And we have a system with our classes where our classes meet 3 times a week for 70 minutes. And then you see at the end of each day, most days you're going to sports and activities at 3 o'clock, and you have breaks built into the day. So opportunities to have meetings with your house or with your class. The class of 2025 might have a meeting during this block. We have school meeting twice a week, and this is our opportunity to come together as a community and connect and share a better understanding of what those values are as a school, to celebrate achievements, have speeches and presentations, give out awards like Athlete of the Month, Student of the Month, Writer of the Month, Artist of the Month. And then you see office hours. Again, opportunities to connect with your teachers to get the support that you need. And I'll talk about advisory later. So many schools have honors classes, they have advanced placement classes, and we actually do have 3 advanced placement classes, but the majority of our students who are really trying to pursue a challenging track during their time at New Hampton will embrace our International Baccalaureate classes in 11th and 12th grade. And I encourage you, in addition to going to our website and watching a student-led tour and another video campus tour to get a sense of the campus and hear from our students, go to our website and do a little research on the International Baccalaureate. Some of you might have some familiarity with that. It is essentially our answer to advanced placement. And in the 11th and 12th grade, some of our students are doing the full IB diploma program, 6 classes over 2 years, where you're really going deeper into a lot of the material. So you would take an IB biology class that is a 2-year class, an IB history class that is a 2-year class as well. And you're able to gain college credit. Even if you only take 2 or 3 IB classes, you can still get certificates in those classes. But some of our students who really want to push themselves, not only in those classes, but also with an extended essay and a service component, embrace the IB diploma program. And it affords them many choices in the college process. Colleges look at this as a feather in your cap and something that truly prepares you to be a great critical thinker and contributor in the college classroom. We also offer an academic support program. So students here embrace the opportunity to get integrated academic support. So it's one of their classes. And the idea is that we have students that have a variety of strengths and challenges, and we want to be able to support them and give them the skills and strategies to be more successful. When you walk into a New Hampton school classroom, the outside of that building might look like a very traditional New England boarding school academic building. When you go into that classroom, you're going to see a lot of technology. All of our students have iPads. All of our teachers utilize the iPad and Apple TVs in every classroom as a teaching tool. So your backpack here at New Hampton shrinks. Many of your books are on your iPad. You're using apps like Notability and turning in most of your work via the iPad. So I think our students, for the most of their textbooks, probably 75% of their textbooks are on the iPad. Our teachers have access to training from Apple each year. So again, we're thinking about not only preparation for university, but a growing need to use technology as you go into your professional lives. And we found that it's great for organization. All those papers and folders and 3-ring binders can be digitized. We really believe in getting outside the traditional classroom, and we have the benefit of New Hampshire, one of the most beautiful states in all of the US. And we have projects during our project week, which occurs in March, that travel internationally, but we also have projects that benefit from our local area and on campus. So this group learned how to sail in the Virgin Islands. We have groups that have gone to Costa Rica and Puerto Rico for service trips. We had a group go to India, another group that went to Japan to study Japanese art. So our students are able to come up with many of these ideas. During their 4 years, they have opportunities to connect with faculty members and say, hey, we'd like to go to London and study design thinking. So you're not only going to a beautiful city and a cultured place where you can embrace the food and the entertainment, but you have an essential question in each project that you're addressing during that time. So there's a real academic component to it and an opportunity, again, for you to pursue your passions. This is a sampling of some of the schools that our graduates from last year are accepted to. Again, when you're at a school of 340 students in a beautiful New England village, you're able to become a bigger fish in a smaller pond. And I think our college counselor, she arrived here last year from a much bigger school. She was at Phillips Andover. And I think what she noted and what she saw in the first year was the ability of our teachers to write passionately about their students in a variety of ways. And our 2 full-time college counselors live here on campus. They're getting to know you as a student, as a person. They're connecting with your teachers, your coaches, your house parents, and really painting a picture of what your story is. And they've done all that research. So our kids are going to big schools, small schools, state universities in California, and also with the benefit of the International Baccalaureate, they have options to explore international universities. Creativity is something that we really try to foster in our students. And obviously there's a requirement, but when you're at a boarding school, access to these facilities and the ability to sign out, during study hall in the evening or flexible study time in the evening to go to the art room or the music room, to work on your craft. And even we have afternoon programs. Instead of playing a sport, you could do art in the afternoon. These are opportunities for you to really pursue your passion in the arts. So if you're looking to be in an orchestra and be a part of a 40-person string orchestra, New Hampton might not be the place. But if you're passionate about contemporary music, that is where we have a particular strength. So we have a class called Contemporary Performance Lab that brings students together for 3.5 hours each week as part of a class to produce original music. And they even go to a recording studio. They're playing pop, hip hop, jazz, rock, all types of music, and then performing at different times throughout the year. We have a ceramics studio that's new. You can take classes in public speaking. You can take classes in improvisational theater. We have 3 major productions a year. And again, given the size of our school, we've had students come in their first year and they might be the lead of the play. We have a partnership with the Walt Disney Family Museum in San Francisco and offer an animation class. And I think this is a big eye opener for a lot of kids. They think that animation is something, that they can spin out pretty quickly, but they found that that's a pretty challenging class that really helps you develop different skills, storytelling skills, digital skills. And again, it's all about creativity, and we want to give you the time to pursue these passions here. So athletics and co-curriculars, and the co-curriculars, I put that there because we do have a lot of recreational programs, but everyone, like Westminster, everyone's doing something in the afternoon. So 3 o'clock rolls around, you get out of class, you're doing something, and that might be art in the afternoon. That might be yoga in the spring, snowboarding, traditional sports like soccer, American football, ice hockey, basketball. But we encourage you to try new things, and we have the facilities to help you do that. You can see here we have an ice hockey arena. We have open skates on Sunday, so if you've never skated before, you can try that. We have 2 gymnasiums for our basketball teams and also for training in the winter so that our soccer team and other programs can utilize that space. We have a new wellness center. So in addition to our traditional weight room, we have a new wellness center that has a spin studio and has a yoga room and dance studio, and then this space right here. So we have a full-time strength and conditioning coach. And so spirit is a big part of being at New Hampton. You're going to find that is something that is a big adjustment to a boarding school, is that you're going to be a part of something bigger than yourself. And all the sports are connected to the school. So going to a game and being a part of a crowd, as Tim talked about, is a big part of weekend activities. In addition to going out to, movies and dinners and maybe having a trip to Boston, our kids look forward to going to games on the weekend. Student life and residential life. Thinking about community, every school is going to talk about community. I think New Hampton really believes in getting to know every single student, and it's an unpretentious place. This is a place where we serve extroverts, we serve introverts. We really try to meet kids where they are and help them develop the confidence to be leaders within the community. And as international students here at New Hampton, you are going to have so many opportunities. During my time here, I've seen a student from Pakistan, a student from China, grow through their time here to become student body presidents during their tenure at New Hampton. You're going to be assigned an advisor. You'll sit with them during school meeting on Monday and Friday, and then on Friday afternoon, you will have advisory meeting where you're meeting with this group of 6 students. So you have the same advisor during your time. So all 3-4 years, however long you're here, you have that connection with your advisor, the 5 other kids in your group, and it becomes your family on campus. They might not be your best friends, but they're folks that you're having meaningful discussions about student life topics that we address each week. In terms of the houses, this is a typical common room here at New Hampton. Again, this is really important to your experience. If you're going to stay in your room and watch YouTube videos when you get home from class, you're probably not going to have an enriching boarding school experience. This is a great opportunity to put your phone down, go into the common room, share snacks, talk to your house parents. We want our houses, and we call them houses because the smallest is 6, the biggest is 32. So it's an intimate experience in those houses where you really get to know everyone that's living around you. This is our dining hall. I've never met any admission director that said the food was bad at their school. I think it's the biggest adjustment for any students coming from Vietnam is adjusting to the cuisine. But I think we are pretty flexible, within our dining hall and making sure that we have, different condiments and things on our menu that are going to, be appetizing to you during your time here. We don't have as many sit-down meals as Westminster, so we have probably 2 a month for special events. We have a speaker or an award ceremony. We'll have a formal dinner before that. In terms of our dress code, pretty laid back here. Our students can wear jeans and a t-shirt to class. They can't wear sweatpants or sports gear, and they can't wear ripped jeans, but it's pretty laid back in terms of our dress code. And these are some of the things that we're focused on in our advisory program. I can't state it enough that having a trusted adult on campus, and in many cases, it's going to be in addition to your advisor. But as you move away from your parents for an extended amount of time, we need to provide the opportunity for conversations and the development of these competencies and these skills. So habits of mind within the classroom, but also habits of mind outside the classroom. And so we're having, conversations that are incredibly meaningful, sometimes that are challenging, folks, but we want you to bring your voice, and we want you to bring that perspective and your history and everything that you've learned in Vietnam. We want you to share that, and one of those places is an advisory. I think I'm on the same page with Tim in presenting a girls' room. It seems to be a trend, and I think you're going to have a roommate in your first year at New Hampton. I think that's important, and it's going to be a student from the United States. What you can't see here is space to store clothes and hang your clothes, but each student has a desk set up, storage areas beneath their beds. And, a little story about that, we spend, I think, 4 meetings each summer thinking about how we pair up roommates. And you fill out a questionnaire, and we have our interview notes and your application to look at to really think about what is a good match for you. And it's very intentional on our behalf. And a couple of years ago, we had a student from Vietnam and another student that we paired up in 9th grade. And that student, the American student, was from Boston. and the student from Vietnam was from Ho Chi Minh City, and they moved in together, and they seemed to get along okay, and they chose to live together for each of the ensuing 3 years. And during that time, the student from Vietnam has gone on ski trips, has gone home to the family house of the student from Boston. And then 2 years ago, our student from Boston traveled to Vietnam to meet his family and to experience that culture. So again, you think about, homestays and student exchanges. We have an opportunity here for you to come and have this boarding school experience, but our families are hospitable, and they understand and recognize that, you're sharing your child with a school so far away. We're going to create opportunities for them to get to know the families here as well. Finally, we have a lot of great traditions here. At the end of the fall, we play another school south of us in all of our sports for a trophy we call the Powder Keg, and we've won that the last 8 years. Didn't get to do it this year. We did compete in sports this year, but we were not able to do the Powder Keg. But again, school spirit is so much a part of being a part of a Husky Nation. We have a prom in 11th and 12th grade, so that's a big American experience. We still have that here. You wear the big dresses, get all dressed up, have a big dinner and dance. We have foliage day in the fall. You can see students here. After a hike, we hike up to Burley Mountain, which is a school-owned property, has an alpine tower. We have a barbecue, music, hanging out. And then in the spring, one of the most popular days of the year is International Night. We spend a week cooking for our students, and all of our students from different countries prepare a dish, and then we have the whole community come into the dining hall and share in that food. And then we have performances, dance, music, and theater that celebrate our global community. And finally, I put this picture up here because as you evaluate schools and look at, what is the best fit for you moving forward, think about the vision for the future. Think about the leadership. And our head of school, Joe Williams, really has put students at the forefront of his strategy and thinking about the student experience, our students that run our school meeting, and giving them more opportunities for leadership. We're about to launch an entrepreneurial studies program this fall as part of our strategic plan. So I go back to that idea of balance, really challenging you and giving you opportunities to distinguish yourself as you move through the school, and also supporting you, all the while having a sense of humor and enjoying your experience here and having fun. And finally, I show you this photo because, students from Vietnam that come to New Hampton get to experience my experiments with preparing noodles. So I prepared this dish for one of our students from Vietnam, and he told me I prepared him the noodles fine. They were great, but I gave him an egg in a Japanese style. So I'm working on preparing Vietnamese dishes. So if you come to New Hampton, you'll see that I'm very passionate about preparing Vietnamese dishes, but it's a long way to go and I need your help. So thank you very much.
Sometimes I just unmute and I forgot that. So thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, Will. And I learned a lot from the presentation. Actually, I heard from our student, I heard from our president, Eric, about the campus, and he said really wonderful thing about the school. So I just brief the presentation a little bit in Vietnamese to our parents joining the webinar today before we go moving to the Q&A section. Quý vị phụ huynh cũng như là các bạn học sinh vừa mới lắng nghe về phần thuyết trình của thầy Will về trường New Hampton, thì các bạn nhìn thấy rằng là New Hampton là một tọa lạc tại tiểu bang cũng như là tại khu vực vô cùng là đẹp, là một trong những nơi được đánh giá là đẹp nhất của nước Mỹ. Về tất cả các cái mùa, ví dụ như rằng là xuân hạ thu đông, thì các bạn đều có những cái vẻ đẹp riêng của tiểu bang đó, và rất là nhiều các hoạt động thể dục thể thao cũng như là các hoạt động ngoại khóa mà các bạn có thể tham gia. Trường New Hampshire là trường mà IB, có nghĩa rằng là trường với chương trình là tú tài quốc tế. Khi mà các bạn tham gia vào chương trình IB, đấy là cái chương trình mà hiện giờ nói về học thuật thì được đánh giá là hạng cao nhất trong các cái chương trình học thuật được cung cấp dành cho học sinh trung học phổ thông khi theo học tại Mỹ. Đây là chương trình nếu như các bạn mà mong muốn để mà theo học tại những cái trường đại học hàng đầu của nước Mỹ sau này, hoặc là các cái trường đại học mà ở các cái quốc gia khác, thì chương trình IB là một trong những cái chương trình mà sẽ hỗ trợ các bạn rất là nhiều. Bởi vì khi các bạn học chương trình IB thì đòi hỏi việc là các bạn phải học và nghiên cứu và phải đọc rất là nhiều và tham gia những cái lớp học theo mô hình của các cái trường đại học. Thì đấy là một trong những cái đặc điểm nổi bật của trường New Hampshire. Và đồng thời rằng là trường New Hampshire là trường mà gọi là Apple product, có nghĩa rằng là toàn bộ các cái thiết bị cũng như là học sinh ở trong trường là sử dụng những thiết bị công nghệ hiện đại, là các bạn sử dụng rằng là như là máy điện thoại cũng như rằng là iPad, tất cả các cái ở đâu các cái phòng lab cũng như là các cái phòng thư viện của nhà trường, thì các bạn sẽ nhìn thấy rằng là các cái phương tiện sử dụng tối tân trong phục vụ cho các vấn đề học và sinh hoạt của các bạn khi theo học tại trường New Hampshire. New Hampshire thì ngoài việc rằng là cung cấp chương trình đào tạo, chương trình học thuật là vô cùng xuất sắc, thì nhà trường còn cung cấp rất là nhiều các cái chương trình để mà phát triển học sinh một cách toàn diện hơn. Đó là về vấn đề như là thầy nói, là các bạn tham gia các hoạt động thể dục thể thao, các bạn tham gia các cái chương trình fellowship, cũng như rằng là các cái gọi là hoạt động cộng đồng, cũng như là các chương trình phát triển gọi là về các cái vấn đề về tinh thần, về cái vấn đề tâm lý, để làm, bởi vì khi các bạn ở cái độ tuổi gọi là teenager cũng như là cái độ tuổi mà đang trưởng thành đó, thì các bạn cần rất là nhiều sự support để mà các bạn có được cái sự định hướng đúng cho cái sự nghiệp của mình, cũng như là có cái sự định hướng đúng cho cái tương lai vào đại học của mình sau này, cái sự phát triển để mà bởi vì khi mà các bạn ở trong cái độ tuổi high school có rất là nhiều các cái có rất là nhiều các issue khác nhau, cũng như rằng là các bạn đến từ các quốc gia khác nhau, thì các bạn phải đối mặt với những thử thách khác nhau về vấn đề văn hóa cũng như là cuộc sống tại Mỹ. Thì ở New Hampshire các thầy cô sẽ hỗ trợ các bạn rất là nhiều. Đồng thời là các bạn nghe thấy rằng là thầy Will có chia sẻ là phần lớn gần như là hơn 90% các thầy cô giáo của trường New Hampshire là sống tại ngay trong trường. Như vậy là các bạn sẽ có cơ hội rằng là khi các bạn có bất cứ câu hỏi gì, các bạn cần phải có sự hỗ trợ thêm trong quá trình học tập, thì các thầy cô giáo ở ngay trong trường sẽ hỗ trợ các bạn. Thì những cái gì mà các bạn đã nhìn thấy trên hình ảnh, nhất là những bạn nào mà thực sự là đam mê về nghệ thuật nữa, thì trường New Hampshire có lẽ là một cái môi trường sẽ hỗ trợ các bạn. Ngoài việc rằng là các cái môn học khác, các bạn phải hiểu rằng là không phải là trường rất là mạnh về nghệ thuật, có nghĩa là chỉ học về nghệ thuật không thôi, mà có nghĩa rằng là ngoài các cái môn học khác, các cái thế mạnh khác như là về STEM, về các cái môn về xã hội, thì các bạn thì cái chương trình nhà trường có đầu tư rất là mạnh vào cái việc là phát triển cái bộ môn liên quan đến nghệ thuật. Ví dụ như là bạn muốn học về animation, hay là bạn muốn học về phát triển về vấn đề biểu diễn nghệ thuật, hát, hay là bạn tham gia vào các muốn cái câu lạc các cái nghệ thuật trong cái vấn đề làm gốm sứ và rất là nhiều các cái hoạt động khác nhau, thì nhà trường có cái sự đầu tư rất là mạnh cho cái chương trình này nếu như các bạn đang theo học. Thậm chí là AMVNX cũng đang có một bạn học sinh mà đang theo học tại trường New Hampshire, và bạn ấy thực sự rất là yêu thích trường New Hampshire. Trong cái thời gian mà bạn ấy nộp hồ sơ thì bạn ấy nộp hồ sơ cho rất là nhiều các cái trường nội trú hàng đầu của nước Mỹ, và sau đó thì bạn ấy đã quyết định bởi vì cái điểm SSAT của bạn lúc đấy là hơn 2.300 điểm, là gần như là các bạn biết là rất tối đa, và bạn ấy quyết định là theo học tại trường New Hampshire sau khi mà bạn ấy có cuộc nói chuyện với lại thầy tổng giám đốc của AMVNX, và đến thời điểm hiện giờ thì bạn ấy vẫn nói rằng là New Hampshire là cái lựa chọn mà đúng đắn nhất mà bạn ấy đã đưa ra trong cái việc là bạn ấy đi theo học ở trường này. Như vậy rằng là đây là một chút cái thông tin mà cô chia sẻ cũng như tóm tắt về trường New Hampshire, cũng như là trường trước trường New Hampshire thì các bạn có nghe về trường Westminster do thầy Randy có thuyết trình. Thì nhìn chung đây là những cái trường mà thay là tất cả những cái trường mà AMVNX mời tham dự các cái buổi webinar của AMVNX và gửi học sinh theo học, cũng như rằng là làm việc từ trước đến nay cùng với lại AMVNX, thì là những trường phải nói là những trường hàng đầu của nước Mỹ về chất lượng, về vấn đề chăm sóc cho học sinh và định hướng cho học sinh của AMVNX như thế nào để mà có sự chuẩn bị tốt nhất cho việc là vào đại học sau này của các bạn.